Hello everyone, I'm the Marine Hero. No, it's not John Cena, even though it's the John Cena action figure. It's Brian Stan, the American war hero, talking to you. And if there's a guy that I would love, and I mean love, to step into the octagon with, it's Mr. Michael Bisping. I would like to go chin for chin, and I will walk through his best, and I will walk right through him with a left. What the fuck is this then, You calling me out, are you? Listen, Brian, mate, it seems like your balls have grown just a little bit over the last few weeks. Just know that even though I've had a few Guinnesses and a few pints at local, just know, Brian, that when you step into the cage with me, when you sign on that paper to agree to fight with me, just know that you're going to get bloody, you're going to get cut up, you're going to get dizzy, you're going to get beat by best fighter from UK, Mr. Michael Bisping. And to be honest with you, I don't see what the hype's about. While you were polishing shoes and marching down locals, with the rest of the lads, I was in the octagon punching and kicking ass, weren't I? And you know what? One more thing. Listen, who have you beaten that wants you getting shot at title? Listen, you're a great person, you're great human being, but look, let's just settle it like this. The last guy that you beat, your big marquee win at middleweight, was against a guy that I wiped the floor with and made look like a fool 3 years ago. And you're supposed to get next shot at title? No, I don't think so. Listen, look at the guys that I've beaten. I beat Mr. No, shut up, mate. I ain't finished talking. Don't you ever touch me again. I will smash your face in a minute, won't I? Listen, I took on Jorge Rivera, who said some pretty below the belt things. Yeah, I took him out of the game and put him into retirement. And then I fought Toilet Brushhead, Jason Miller. And just for the record, Jason didn't gas. He didn't get tired. I beat the ever-living daylights out of him. I beat the shit out of him. Listen, I hit him with shots to the body. His cardio's always good. But when I get on full guard and I start throwing punches at you, it has a direct effect on your cardio. Listen, you can get that Usain Bolt, Linford Christie, or that Mo Farah, and I can punch and kick them and they won't run so fast, won't they? Sorry, just had to do that just to get me warmed up. Right, so, speaking of Mr. Bisping, one more thing. Has anyone ever noticed how he behaves before the fight and then after the fight? Just watch some of his fights and, I'll get the figure back. He gets all worked up. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill him. Gonna take him out, knock him out. Hey, you bastard, come on. He gets so worked up, and then when the fight finishes, he's like a completely different person. He's all emotional, and he's like, I fight for my family. Don't take it away from me. Don't take it. I fight for my family. I'm an emotional guy. I say things that I don't mean. It's water under the bridge. I just don't take it away from me. I fight for you, the great fans of the UFC. Don't take it away from me, people. Don't take it away from me. I'm a man of great pride. I just want shot at title. That's all I want. I just want shot at title. Anyways, speaking of Mr. Bisping, he beat Brian Stan, and I said in a previous video before that Stan has the ability to knock him out. However, I see Bisping using offensive wrestling to get the win, and that's exactly what happened. So thank you, Mr. Bisping, for making me look smart. And now he moves up the ladder of contention, and there's a lot of talk about whether or not Bisping should fight for the title next, or if he should fight somebody else, or someone else should get the shot at the middleweight title. And in addition to that, you've also got the fact that Anderson Silva is going to fight Stefan Bonner in Brazil in a month, I believe. So you've got that going on, and then you've also got the fact that if Anderson, and it's presumed he's going to win, let's call a spade, if after Anderson's done with Stefan Bonner, a lot of people are talking about him fighting George St. Pierre. That's on the provision that St. Pierre beats Carlos Condit, which is a subject best saved for another time, that fight, I mean. So there seems to be a lot of things, and lost in the shuffle of all of that is who gets the next shot at the middleweight title. Now, the two names that everyone seems to be saying are Chris Weidman and Michael Bisping, and there seems to be a lot of debate as to who should get the next one. Now, Weidman is signed to a fight. He's fighting Tim Boetsch. Now, If Weidman beats Tim Boetsch, it's presumed he will be the next person to fight for the belt. But that's if he beats him. If Tim Boetsch beats him, I think Boetsch is likely to get the next shot at the belt. But the thing is, if Weidman, let's presume that Weidman won, and Weidman, he's been campaigning for a shot, and a lot of people say he should get one after fighting Mark Munoz. To me, I still think that Weidman would need to win a few more fights for two things. To get the credibility up there, as in he's beaten this guy and he's beaten this guy, and he also needs to be in a kind of like semi-main event spot to help build his name up, because the aim of the game for the UFC, it's the promotion business, is to build names and build up fights that people want to see and anticipate. And I don't think they did a good enough job doing that with Frankie Edgar, who is a great fighter and I love watching him fight, but to the rest of the world it doesn't have the same effect. And I kind of feel that they don't want to run themselves into the same position with Chris Weidman. They need to put him in some big fights that he can win. Well, it sounds weird saying that, but put him in some big fights where he gets some exposure and build his name from that. That's why maybe him fighting Rich Franklin after he fights Tim Boetsch would be a good idea. Rich Franklin's an established name. A lot of the casual audience know who he is. And put him in the semi-main spot of a big card to help boost his name and elevate him, so then he becomes more sellable and more sellable as an opponent to him. And just for the record, I think Weidman is very talented. I think he's got a ton of potential. He's a New York boy, and I like, New York always has a place in my heart as much as Chicago does. So, I would like to see Weidman win some more fights is what I'm saying. And the other thing is, can he sell the fight, to the media as well? That's the other part of it, and that's where I think Bisping is likely to get the shot ahead of him. Now, one of the things about Anderson Silva's career is Anderson is definitely a star in the UFC. He is definitely a star. People know who he is. But when it comes to pay-per-view, Anderson only draws with certain kinds of people, I've noticed. The thing with very dominant fighters and very dominant champions is that it becomes harder and harder to sell them as a pay-per-view attraction. I mean, Anderson Silva reminds me a lot of Roy Jones Jr. in some ways. Let's hope he doesn't box Kimbo Slice. But the fact that he's unbeaten and so dominant, it's hard to build pay-per-view main events around him. You need someone that really, really, number one, has either devastated everybody else in the weight class and top guys in the weight class and has built up a name in doing so. You need somebody like that, or you need someone that can talk utter and full-on trash and play up to being the enemy and embrace the hate and make people want to see him get his ass kicked by Anderson. You either need one or the other, and Bisping to me falls into the second category, the man that needs to embrace the hate. And I think that a Bisping Silva fight is a fresh pay-per-view main event for the UFC. It's never happened before, and unlike a lot of Silva's opponents, with the exception of a Chael Sonnen and Rich Franklin, you could do that with. Dan Henderson to an extent. They were two elite level fighters, but then you look at guys like Damian Maia and Yushin Okami, who struggled in selling the fight, and they didn't necessarily have blow-away performances in the lead into it, and it showed because they didn't do the best number on a pay-per-view against him. But then you look at a guy like a Vitor Belfort, who just destroyed guys, started to get back onto form. People were convinced by that. And then you look at somebody like Chael Sonnen, who was a perfect example. Sonnen sold the entire fight with his mouth, then sold the second fight with the performance of the first fight. So Sonnen had the best of both worlds there. But the thing is now, I can only see Anderson. I don't think he's going to, pick and choose his opponents, but I think he's going to be more inclined to fight someone, in the middleweight division, that's a very sellable and very exciting fight for him, because he does get a cut of the pay-per-view percentage. And what better person, now that Chael is out of that weight class for now, than Michael Bisping? And it looks like Bisping is being groomed to be the next guy. So that's my reason why I think Bisping is likely to get the shot at the title as opposed to somebody else. So you write what you think. tell me what you feel is going to happen. Should Wyman get the next shot if he beats Boich? Should Boich get the next shot if he wins? Another one is, what about Rich Franklin? Franklin has returned to the division, and I remember hearing Rich saying he would never return to the division, or, you know, was against the idea of going back to the division for the time being. So it kind of makes it even more interesting. I don't see people paying for a third Rich Franklin fight, but it almost seems to be indicating that perhaps there's something that's going to happen with Anderson Silva, and maybe Rich Franklin is being put back in there to eventually be one of the guys to help make up for the loss, because maybe Anderson's going to be out of the division for a while. So who knows? Anyways, write some comments, let me know what you think. Also, someone mentioned Luke Rockhold to me. Guys, tell me what you think of Luke Rockhold. I'd be very interested to know what people think of him in general. I've heard a lot of things about him, possibly when his Strikeforce deal is up, going to the UFC. Could he be another one that, you know, eventually gets a shot at Anderson Silva? Anyways, that's enough. Write some comments, let me know what you think, share the video, comment, rate, subscribe, and I will get back to you later. Take care. Oh man.